Hello, this is John Jaw Watson, and here we are, day number 23, reading the one-year Bible together. And we are looking today at Matthew chapter 15, 29 through 16:12. And I'm going to just run through the text and reflect on it. Wow, that's, first set of verses is just a big wow. It's just like, whoa. Jesus is healing people, and this is like resurrection level power. You're talking about people who have never spoken before speaking, people who are crippled, walking, people who were blind, seeing, and people just praising God. People are entering into new levels of life and freedom that they've never had before. And I mean, who wouldn't be excited about that? And then Jesus also, out of a real concern for the community of people that are hanging out with him, their enthusiasm has distracted them from sort of even getting food for themselves, and he wants to provide for them. So he says, hey, to the disciples, let's feed them. And they're like, but Jesus. It's amazing to me, and I've seen this even with myself, even in the midst of having seen God do things, the way the mundane and the ordinary work in the mind's consciousness, so that one limits oneself to what's within one's own power and grasp. Over and over again, I see God doing in my own life the equivalent of asking me, okay, what do you have? And I'll say, wow, or what can you do? And I'll offer God what I have or what I can do. And then with his blessings, he takes it to a level that I couldn't have imagined by itself. And that simple lesson that the blessing of God takes things further than what one could do with one's own strength and power ultimately leads the disciples to wanting to live as recipients of God's blessing, filled with the power of the Spirit of God, filled with the power of the love of God, filled with the power of the presence of God. But that's later on in the New Testament. We'll get to that. The Pharisees now want to know, look, Jesus, you want us to get with you. We want you to show us on our agenda. We want you to satisfy us on our terms. And Jesus doesn't come to the Sadducees and the Pharisees on their terms. He's not interested in reaffirming the inappropriate power structures that have developed in their leadership, but he doesn't want them to be excluded. So he tries to shake them up. He says, you guys know how to tell the weather, don't you? They're like, yeah. Well, why can't you see what's up in front of you? A lot of spirituality is about awareness. It's about what you're aware of. And if you're aware of God at work, at any level, to the level that you're aware of God at work, to that level you can engage and participate in what God is doing. And that's a pretty cool thing. And then he basically makes it clear that the Pharisees and the Sadducees have something going on in their teaching that is just really toxic. The way that I've explained this to people in the most basic, simple terms is it's a misappropriation of the law. You see, the law is given out of the heart of God, out of this deep, genuine love. Imagine a father saying to a child, "Don't touch the hot stove, it's hot." And the child hears, I wonder what that means. And he goes and touches the hot stove and burns his hands. Ouch. Now, then the child internalizes that message. Boy, hot stoves are hot. I'm not getting anywhere near fire. I'm just going to stay away from it, and I'm never going to get close to it at all. All of a sudden, psychologically, something's been added to the law, but also fear has entered into that law. And that fear is really destructive. Rather than hearing, let's say if you hear the Ten Commandments, I'll give you an example. Let's say the Sabbath day. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Having a day of rest where one has space and time for attention, is that meant to be a burden and restrictive and crushing? No. You're talking about in the context where Israel received that law, they had been slaves. They were made to work 24 hours, they were at people's beck and call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And to have a day set aside where it's like, hey, you can rest and you can focus on reflecting and thinking about life, and you can enjoy your relationship with God and your family. That's a beautiful gift. Not a burden. And then I have other friends say, "Oh, I don't want to listen to the Ten Commandments. I don't want to be burdened by that." What do you mean? You don't want a day of rest? You would rather work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never get any rest? Or which one of the other 10 Commandments do you really want the freedom to break whenever you want? Oh, you want the right to covet? Well, if you want the right to covet, you miss out on the reality that you never actually, in coveting, have the internal space to receive what is truly your own. Or, hey, I just need the right to steal from my neighbor sometimes. Well, in stealing, you actually kill the whole generous health of a community. In stealing, you take and you lose the opportunity to give and receive. There's all sorts of dynamics that if the Ten Commandments or any of the law are properly understood, it was given out of this genuine heart of love. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees created systems where it became a way of manipulating and controlling people through fear rather than receiving the love of God. And that is what I understand to be the yeast of the Pharisees. Jesus wanted people to receive life and life abundantly. Like it says another place in the scripture, the truth will set you free. Freedom. Sweet freedom. God bless y'all. Keep up with us. Remember, you're reading the 1 Year Bible with a community. That means if you miss a day, it's not a law. just pick it up where we are and read with us. If you want to go back, you're welcome to. But we're not making a rule. We are journeying as a community through the scriptures together. Love you, God bless, and keep the faith.